Good Monday morning, everybody. On this March 27th, I'm Chris Allen here at the SAM channel, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, all sponsored by Ace Hardware Marketplace this week. I hope to have some Ace Hardware store locations, which I will be appearing at, and with weather radios. Yeah, a lot of you have been asking about that. So hang in there. Sometime this week, hopefully, we'll have those first few cities announced where I will be in the store with those weather radios so you can get one. It's that time of year. And unfortunately, we've seen the devastation down in Mississippi. It's just awful. And even Georgia, Alabama. Those were the hardest hit places over the weekend with devastating tornadoes and even some flooding. For us, it's been fairly quiet. And on this Monday morning, we're seeing just a few returns on the radar. And this is mostly just kind of leftovers, from this frontal boundary that you see that's pushing through. The cold front is fairly dry for now. Except for a couple of little returns you see right there over central Kentucky this morning. But most of this is all just going to continue to push on to the north and east away from us. The front is coming through now, and you can tell that the front is coming through because the winds have picked up this morning. And behind that front is somewhat cooler air. So yesterday we had a high of 74 in Bowling Green, and boy, was it nice. I mean, it was real nice yesterday, but today we're only going to make it up to probably 64. Now, 64 is exactly where we should be for a high temperature this time of the year. So yesterday, 74, 10 degrees, obviously warmer than the average. But I think today and tomorrow, we're going to be a little off that mark and more in line with where we should be for this time of the year. And even some chilly nights coming. Forewarned you of that last week when we saw those almost freezing temperatures for Tuesday night and into Wednesday night. And I'll show you that here in just a second. First, let's take a look at the model blender for the next 10 days. And you can see some of those chilly nights ahead tomorrow night and Wednesday night. You see 32 there for Wednesday night. Yeah, or actually Tuesday night and Wednesday night. So, yeah, it's a possibility, especially if you live north of Bowling Green, you're going to get some frost. It's going to be a short term, small window opportunity, but there again, with a clear sky, you could get some of that frost. Today, though, 62, 63, maybe 64 for Bowling Green and much of southern Kentucky. Tomorrow, cooler, upper 50s. And that's when we see that drop in temperature. It won't come tonight. It'll come tomorrow night, in which we get down close to freezing, as you see there, 32. Then we go back to 60 on Wednesday. Wednesday night, 37. So a bit above freezing, but not by much. And then finally, we see for a while, it appears to be really warm and very spring-like, as you see the 60s and 70s, even mid to upper 70s on into the weekend and the beginning of next week, the first few days of April, which will be upon us Saturday. Saturday is the first day of April. So, and it's going to come in nice and warm, as you see there. But of course, within there, and what you don't see on that 10-day temperature blender is how much rain is coming our way. And we've got another system on another Friday that's coming our way. What is this, like 4 Fridays in a row that we're talking about maybe some heavy rain and gusty winds and maybe severe weather? It's a possibility. I'll get to that in a moment. Speaking of gusty winds, the winds are up this morning. Here's a look at Kentucky Mesonet sites showing wind gusts of 21, 23, 29. I heard that one, a little gust a few minutes ago. It's 5:11, by the way, the current time as I'm recording the podcast. 24. Oh, there's a 31. That's in Hardin County, E-Town. So the winds are coming from the north behind that frontal boundary that you saw that's pushing through the area this morning. So as you first go out this morning, it's going to be breezy. But then the winds will start to relax once we get this frontal boundary pushing through. So it's not going to last that long as far as the breezy winds just for the start this morning. Temperatures, you got 40s to the east. Everybody else is in the 50s. You may see a little bit of a drop in western Kentucky back into the upper 40s before sunrise. And then the temperatures will start to head up toward the low 60s for high temperatures today. But it's going to be noticeably a bit cooler. We're not going to hit the 70s today like we did over the weekend or yesterday. So just be aware of that. Some of you may want to take a jacket or a long sleeve, sweater or something like that just to keep you warmer, because it's not going to be as warm today. A look at the surface map, well, the model maps here. We are, again, looking at the pretty good Pacific flow, the warm flow coming out of the Baja of California. And you see the dip in the jet stream just to the north of us with a low pressure system. And there's still ongoing rough weather down south as they're getting that continual moisture feed from the Gulf of Mexico. So as we go through the day, some of these little light rain showers that we're pulling through this morning, all of that's going to continue to push north and east away from us. Now, the flow really isn't going to change all that much. I mean, it is a Pacific flow, but we're seeing the results of this little dip in the jet stream here with some of that cooler air trying to work its way back in. So that's why we're going to see a couple of chilly nights. In fact, you can watch that right there. A little bit of precipitation, a little bit of light rainfall, maybe drizzle. A lot of this won't even reach the ground. It's only a 1005 millibar low. So as we get into tonight, there may be some sprinkles just north of us, and then the cooler air with that kind of more northerly fetch here just kind of settles in for the evening and for the next few evenings. As a matter of fact, there it is. Even as we get into Tuesday night, Wednesday, still a big dip in the jet stream and that flow out of the north taking over for Kentucky, Tennessee, even down into the northern tier of Dixie. And then we see a ridge building out in the plains and the Rockies. And that's the warmer air that's going to be pushed back our direction as we go through time. Here we go in the next couple of days as we get a much warmer flow now. That's going to help set us up for those warmer temperatures that you saw on the 10-day blender. Here we go into Thursday morning. Pretty good looking, nice ridge building here. Then we get into Friday. We start to see, again, Gulf of Mexico. Now, this is a little stronger low pressure system. Gulf of Mexico starts to open up for moisture, and you get the big dip out west. You know how this thing works. Push, shove. It's all about that. And so we get our return chance of rain by Friday. Again, like I said, what is it, 4 or 5, seems like 4 or 5 Fridays in a row that we've had at least some measurable rainfall, gusty winds, thunderstorms, maybe some severe weather. It is a possibility with this system as it comes in on Friday. And then we get on into Saturday. You can see how it just kind of lingers and that low deepens. 1002 millibars, pretty good trough, bend in the trough there with that low pressure system and the cold front that comes in. and it sets us all up for what looks to be sort of a wet beginning to the weekend. But by Saturday afternoon, we start to see this clear away. That low continues to deepen, though. So there's going to be, again, some rain and wind, storms, maybe again on Friday into early Saturday. It's in, it's just the pattern that's set up for us right now continues to be this transitional wave upon wave of moisture and wind and all that. This has been the windiest um, beginning to a year that I've seen in a long, long time. Doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it's just the pattern that we're in. And like everything else, it'll go away and something else will replace it. There's always you know, a return and then a pattern that returns, 10, 20 years later and sets up. And this is one of those that it's been a while since we've seen it. Okay, here's a look at the surface map this morning with that cold front coming on through, taking most of the rain with it. We get into this is afternoon and this evening. Tonight, there's that little bit of upper flow with that front and Gulf of Mexico moisture. It just keeps piling on. That little bit of straw tomorrow, conditional whether we actually get rain out of that. Some of that could be where it looks like it's raining, but it's not hitting the ground, Virga type situation. We'll see. I mean, the odds are pretty low that we get anything out of this. Then we get into Wednesday afternoon, Thursday. Here comes another front from the north that starts to stall. High pressure is pretty much in control, but here comes these systems from the Pacific West meeting up with the Gulf moisture. And you know what that means? Another Friday, another wet day. And look at the coverage here. Heavy rain, thunderstorms, gusty winds, and somewhere in there is going to be most likely severe weather. And then the front passes on by Saturday about midday, and then we see everything clearing out for Sunday. Kind of like it's been the last several weekends. You get rain on Friday, and then by midday Saturday, it's gone, and then Sunday looks good. Yesterday was just beautiful. As I mentioned, 74 was the high temperature. We'll be about 10 degrees cooler than that today. All right, you guys, that'll do it for this edition of your Sam Channel forecast. Weather stick is showing blue, so everything's good to go today. Just watch out for that little bit of a breeze this morning. All right, headed to the radio station, Sam 100.7 for the morning show. I hope you tune in for that. In the meantime, God bless you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the radio.